Daarom was dat.
Ja, we gaan gewoon even zeker wel. Eén of twee. En gewoon. Die was al die nieuwe dagen, die worden gekozen, zoals je kort, die worden nacht, ja. Ja, te wel delen, halleluja, is gaat,
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, God will give another El Yegim, something they not read. Zecher Galdio is begoil, Vinay Man Shemem, God, Shlomo, Baruch atah Adonai, Abraham, Chamis Ato, Rabbi Ishia, Beini, Tato, Kal, Chaim Chamis, Machnadim, Sek, Matras, Kaimino, so the shady of mich all the good days. When we take a look, well, we must be it's making sure that we're not the Akis Nest, but all the no, Chaya, they say, it's a absolute sense. The Charles of Shaw, Akos, Wayan, Livia, Vikoro, Zavi Omar, Umos, Shabbat, ودي كاتش كوس لين يا قدش شوف قدش ليش وين يلا بسوا وبركاته دي نوي او الحق قدش ما فيني ناس نظام لين خخ مو بينو بدو اس بركاته دي نوي اي هادو اس شدين مو بينو سيرا صح قبل ما كنا عبيد صح يا خاطرين بالشوف باش دايما فناخ بركاته دي نوي هايت بالشوف كانوا بينو كيف تقول كل ما كنت مشون بين صح هذا بركاته دي نوي كانوا أما بالإصلاح بينهم يونين بدون بين ما تشبه خي إل خافك عطر بركاته دي نوي يا الإسرائيل بين هذه بين إيراف شنو بدي أشوفه يوصلوا يا أبي أبو خور فوش بين الخمر كيسينو كي المخي في نام رحم عطر بركاته دي نوي في خيل يعمل إسرائيل أولين وعدي إنه شن عطر فيس كم يسمعوا في سمراخ بيقعد الله سبعين بتبقى بارك شنو سنو كشون ما تيب بتبقى كي إل تيب بتبقى بارك شون بارك توادين هاي بوري خشوني كابو شو بيقولوا الخير وسيد مسوي تكابت كل يسيد خمسين ياخد نابل كانوا يسوي تيب بارك توادين هاي عابت نيت خيام يسوي شيء شيء تبي بوري شيء بدي ياتينو كبات خيل يوف من يوم يبانو ويخلين عطاد من بعد خب خسران من متصدق مش بطل عطادين هاي ايه صدق مش انا شيء قال من فاضل كده جديد ايه يا عم كريس ما شو من ساكر شروس ماجي بساخني اب بيجامين ما عطادين هاي شيء ايه يا سيدي هذا انا بس راي يا ابو ده بس فعلا طبعا سألت يا مو رقم خمسة زين خبيت مش بس ما كانوا يبغى وغير من يمشي بخابطه وتوادينا بيشرب بيتاخ از ديكي شام من خبر عشان بس موسيقى عشان تبعت خيز ده از مين موسيقى ده من سبب قريب بيا بينه وبين ايوه فرق توادينا لا شو قوي شو بدي أعرف إذا تبغى مكان يطول شو صار شو أكيد القيام بركة توادينا مسمي عشان يشوف شاكر إنه أتمنى إنه أراك ونحن كاب وبراك نوصل في دوستين que é os metais automobiles, ou uma crónica multichiveno, que há dois metais com baba, a toda de nós, cheguei a te filo, sei a te de não bistro, ele disse, os cheguei, hoje vou abrir o que está a bicho, isso, os meus aves, com rote, os seus domes, da verdade, se só não acham, mas nem no bicho, o timirá, a toda de nós, a marca de esquinosa, وتقيين ما بنشين ما تودي بقدر تيجي بقول صار في زفاقين وسوي دخل نعم مش مسنوا بقول إصلاح ونسا خش قيمان نسا خش خالص أنا بابا كيف تهرى يمكن كذا خلاص ما خبرك بس مستغى كيمي أيلام كيمين الله أخوه ورد بسم ناس الشم ما كنت تعمل لهم قال خال أخاي بدك صلاة بيعمل شم خاطر ده وكتير وإلي شو وصلنا بس راسين وسلا وإلهاتين باروخ أتواني نوي عفوا شمخو لخنا الله هيديس سيشال شيء أو رأخ خاين كين خسران من شمخ مكان مكان كاف بناخ بإير بناخ خلاص الله ما بندري درس كاين خسر ستوك وراخ وراخ خاين شال انتي بين خلاص أم خيس روح الإيس وخشاب بيجتمع كم أتواني نوي أخاري بس أم إسرائيل باشال Kim is out to the Sham Taz and Shas and Sakshim and Ram, Kim you go to Shema, no, you show them back. Ki we all do it in the Chol, Ki upon noch no the issue of right which we have to the Khaba Khadising, Am Shmacho. Start Schmidt aber Jerusalem was the last of recording. Should come. Vayechin vayechin vayet chol b'Yisrael gold and Kori v'Om. Shmei dekutsho b'lichu. As we should also tishbachos and nachamos. Ta'amid yom v'mu Omen. Skol v'mus and chol b'Yisrael kadol v'gi b'Shmaya v'mu Omen. Heish Omer Avim min Shmaya v'chaim teiv v'mu Yisrael v'mu Omen. Is the show in him, but Yas Shamolim of Israel, you Amen. Shonei the Shemai makes it. Nema roho you have the noise melach alkolor ye no ye yav me yachod shmo yachod. Amen. 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 Oh yeah. What to do?
First of all, do a Sima Rambam. The Rebbe requested that whenever we finish a book of Rambam, we do it in public. And so today, to conclude the laws of Torahs. And what's interesting is that, or Shkalim, but it's dealing with Torahs. What's interesting is that today's Chumash is dealing with the Torahs incense. And today's Rambam is also, the Rebbe always connect, whenever the Chumash or the Tanya and the Rambam, whenever they're connected, the Rebbe always connect them, and it's their connection over here. So the Rambam finishes like this. This is what they would do with the leftover Ketores. As soon as the first of Nisan came, I guess that was a cycle that would the collection would start in the month of Nisan. That's when they would take the machzis shekel. The half of the shekel was we do it erev Purim, but the announcement was done. Shchodesh Adar, the announcement is 2 weeks of 4 weeks, a month before Nisan, because the new collection would start in Nisan. So the half a shekel, so there was one of the funds, the 3 half shekels. One of them went for the daily offerings, and part of the daily offering was the ketores. So he says here, from when Shchodesh Nisan would come, they would divide it, I guess, between the makers, the craftsmen, the artisans, what they call artisans. It's an art making the ketores. Gemara discusses a certain family. It was only a certain family that had the secret to how to make this. All right, and so the Chayzim Vayis Sacha locates on Mizbeach. So basically, that's when they would pay the craftsmen, the artisans, whatever they're called, the people that made the ketores. They would pay them, and now they would start making the ketores from Mitshuma Chadasha, from the new collection, the new year, the year starting Nisan. The new they would start from the new collection, the new money that came in, new funds that came in. In order that we're using right away the new funds that came in right away, those are going towards the new ketores, the new institutions being made. What happens if they didn't make it? What happens if they don't have the money yet? What happens? I don't know. Maybe the shluchim of the bezdin, I guess, didn't come in quick enough. They did for their collection. I don't know. So then they could bring the ketores from the old funds, from last year's funds. I guess it was leftover money. All right, with that we should conclude the laws of Shkalim, and we begin the laws of Kiddush HaChodesh, of sanctifying the moon, of choosing choosing when Rosh Chodesh is. We have a mitzvah to choose when Rosh Chodesh is, and that's why we have our custom over here every morning. We decide together what day it is. Leftover funds. Rebbe would always say a Jewish organization has to use all its funds. No such thing as having extra funds. There's a whole debate if there should be what's the name of the fund? You have a lot of colleges have endowment fund. So should Chabad houses have an endowment fund? Right? Right? But surplus. And I would say, how could such a thing be a surplus? There's money to be used. Let's do more with it. So you're right. It's a good question. How could it be surplus from the year before? I guess it was both options. It says that sometimes they would run out, sometimes they wouldn't have enough.
So there was a purpose for that.
So the worst one specifically for that, they were keeping up the upkeep for keeping it clean. There was a fund specifically for that, but if there was one. All right. Today in Jewish history. So today has a long history. It begins during the times of Yeshua, when they were conquering the land of Eretz Yisrael. Navi tells us, the first book of prophets, tells us there that they were fighting the war, and it wasn't good, and we needed more time. If we would just push further, we would be able to get to where we have to get to, but the sun was about to set, and they couldn't push it another day. During the night, the Lishtim, or whoever was on the other side, would have time to reset, restock or whatever. And so Yeshua daven, Shemesh begiva in daim, he daven that the sun should stop and just stay light a little bit longer, and we should be able to. Huh? Zoma Shabbos also. They don't want to be Shabbos. Be able to fight a war in Shabbos. Better not.
Their astrologers told them that the Shabbos week would have a power.
So the Rebbe explains that what was so special about that. So the Rebbe explains that just like we daven to Hashem, it says what is it called? What were those nations called? Akom, Avaidas, those that serve, Kachavim Mazalis, those that serve the stars and the constellations. And so we daven to Hashem, they daven to the stars and the constellations. Not just that, but they actually get kayak, they get strength from the stars and constellations. They do. And where do the stars and constellations get their strength from? No, from them davening. They're constantly davening. The stars and the moon are constantly and the constellations are constantly davening. And that's why all the stars are in constant movement. Stars and the galaxies are not staying in one place, they're constantly moving and they're davening. The sun, the moon, according to Torah, the sun and the moon are both traveling around Earth. It's not Earth traveling around the sun and the moon. They're traveling around Earth. And the Rebbe, there are certain Torah scholars that would try to explain it according to science, or would say, clear, Torah is clear, the Rambam says it clearly, that's the way it is. And of course, the Rebbe explained it scientifically, but we don't have to be pacifists, like to pacify, try and make scientists happy. That's the way Torah says. The sun is traveling around the earth. That's the way it is. Don't be apologetic. Huh? It's all traveling around the earth. And they're all traveling around us. Right? And why are they traveling? Their movement, because they're davening. They're davening. It's like we move when we daven. They're davening. And so, what was he davening? What was Yeshua davening? The Rebbe explains he was davening Shemesh B'Gimel Daim. He was davening that the stars and the moon and the sun should all stand still. Should stop davening. What happens if they stop davening? They don't have power. And if they don't have power, those that are davening to them have no power. And then automatically you will win the war. So it could fit in like those were partially explained. But that's the way Rebbe explains it. And that's why the word is Shemesh B'Gimel Daim. Daim means stop, but it really means also keep quiet. It doesn't mean keep quiet. The sun should keep quiet. The stars and the moon and the mazal, they should keep quiet. What does it mean keep quiet? Keep quiet from davening. Of course, they're moving in davening, but they're also davening, and they should keep quiet in davening. Huh? Yes, there's now there's a whole thing. Someone sent me this YouTube about it, that there's sound coming from all these from all the stars and everything. This is a certain sound it makes. It's music of, and that there's a whole science now about leaves, trees also making sounds, and flowers making sounds. You have to be able to tune into it, but
It's said that the galaxy itself is actually moving, spinning.
yes,
To which the same
There-
all the parts
it's spinning in its own
right.
and the whole thing is spinning.
As we're circling the sun,
We're not circling the sun. It's not circling us. Yeah.
the sun is also actually in a sense circling us as well as everything else.
Yeah.
Because it's all in constant movement.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah.
So I think that's what actually is.
The month of Tammuz is known as a very difficult month. There were a lot of difficult things that took place in the month of Tammuz. We have the 17th of Tammuz coming up. It's a fast day. Today, the walls of Yerushalayim were breached and led to the destruction of Beis Hamikdash. There was a fire, a terrible fire, that broke out in 1851 in the town of Lavich. And a ton of manuscripts were destroyed in that, and it was known as a very, very sad day. That happened on the 3rd of Tammuz. And the Friedrich Rebbe went to another prison sentence on the 3rd of Tammuz. That's also a sad day. And of course we know, of course, it's coming. But of course we know in Tafshin Adal 1994, Matzi Shabbos, Saturday night, Yom Tammuz. So that was Rebbe's Neshama. Not sure exactly how it works, but life wasn't the same. And also a very trying time. Predictions, of course, were all that on the radio, I remember, and television, and all the newspapers said that it would be the end of Lubavitch or Chabad, the way the world knows it, and it's all gonna. And of course, that didn't not exactly the way things turned out. The Rebbe explained that Gimel Tammuz is the start of the Geula, the beginning of the Geula. It's called the whole month is actually the Chodesh Geula, the month of redemption. And specifically regarding Gimel Tammuz, the Rebbe, people ask you say Tachanun on the Gimel Tammuz or not, because at the end, the Friedrich Rebbe came out of prison. He didn't come out for good. That was only 10 days later on the 12th and 13th of Tammuz. But this was the beginning of that process. The beginning of the process of the Friedrich Rebbe coming out for good of prison, of his first death sentence and life sentence, or labor sentence. And so that was minimized in the 3rd of Tammuz. And that was the beginning, that was the catalyst of him coming out. And so there was regarding this day, saying Tachanun not, there says Tali Behergish, it depends on a person's feelings. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing it means if you see it as a negative day, then we don't say Tachanun. If you see it as a positive, the possibilities coming out of it, then don't say Tachanun. I'll tell you, I had once davening in the oil. It was a field that year. It was 16, Gimel Tammuz 16 years ago. It was a field. And I didn't say Tachanun because of Tali Behergish. Okay, I never said that. And before that, maybe from should be for sure. And I didn't say Tachanun. There was a guy. He was very respected. Yeah. Stormed out. He was very upset. I understand him. I didn't agree with him, obviously, but I understood him because in Chabad, the custom is that in Yartzeiks we do say Tachanun. It's not we don't say Tachanun. But what happened before 1994 Gimel Tammuz? Let's not get caught up in 1994. Let's go before 10 years before that, 1984. They say Tachanun or not? The same Tali Behergish, the same depending on feeling existed then, and probably most people didn't say Tachanun then. So why all of a sudden now start saying Tachanun? That was my whole process. Huh? The Rebbe said something. It depends on your feeling, not regarding. The Rebbe said, no. There's something. Okay, so birthdays and yardsticks in Chabad, we do say Tachanun. Sunday, not to Tachanun. In many communities, in Polish communities, for example, Hungarian communities, other Hasidic communities, the yard said of any tzaddik, they won't say tachnun. So you go to Williamsburg and Borough Park, they have a list of which tzaddik was on which day, and the vast majority of the year they never say tachnun. Never say tachnun. Huh? They'll never say tachnun because always someone big tzaddik's yard site. Divisions they don't. Okay. The shul, you know, they know there's some shuls that do, some shuls that don't, and some shuls they know what they're known for. You go there, you don't want to see tachnun, you go to that shul, they know exactly whose yard it is, they know the tachnun.
And almost every morning also they some kind of like a time after the shul also because there's actually a yard. Usually like 50
So-
people davening and Borough Park, they all have relatives.
And so that's a Chassidic custom. That's not the Chabad custom. Chabad, we do say tachnun on birthdays and yard sites. We do. So some people say, "Oh, Gimel Tammuz, you're making it like it's not a yard site, and therefore, why are you not saying tachnun?" Don't get so stuck. 40 years ago, Gimel Tammuz, did we say tachnun? We didn't say tachnun. Go back 40 years. Don't go back 30. Go 40 years. So they asked the Rebbe, "Do you say tachnun on this day or not?" And the Rebbe said, "It's totally the hergish. It depends on your feeling." In other words, what type of feeling are we talking about? So there's some what day, what qualifies the day we don't say tachnun? Either a Yom Tov in the Torah, or a Yom Tov midrabanan, or a decree that was annulled, what's known in Hasidic terminology as a Chag HaGeula, a Yom Tov of a redemption. We were in a tight spot and we had a redemption from there, and therefore it's like Purim, we were in a crunch and then it became a Yom Tov. The only day the Rebbe said it regarding was Gilon Tammuz. The only day the Rebbe said Tali V'Hergish. Because, tell you why, because it wasn't an actual Yom Tov. Because the Frierdiker Rebbe, whose Chag HaGeula it wasn't released. He was released, but he wasn't released. He was released a smaller sentence, but the Frierdiker Rebbe later explained that was the beginning of going completely out. Huh? It was a schal to the Gula, exactly. They didn't realize at the time. It looked terrible. But really, it was something deeper happening. And that's why it's not an open celebration, but it led to an open celebration. And therefore, there's that celebration. If you feel it's a terrible day, exactly. If you feel it's leading, it looks terrible, but it's leading to something beautiful, just like the story of Yeshua on this same day. It looked like it was war. This is terrible. But you know what? Really, it was the winning of the war.
Do you think he thought about himself when he said?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'll just send you a video of Rabbi Yosef speaking of the Rebbe. Very nice. I don't know who's speaking. So, all right, Mike, it's 118. Say the Chaim afterwards. That's the saying that Mordechai Eliyahu said regarding the difference. Rabbi Yosef? Rabbi Yosef is a Chad Bedoro. All right, Mike, you want down Mike? Sure, you want down Mike?
ומלכוסי ורוצי קיבלו עליהם מוישה בני ישראל שילה ושמחה רבו ויאמרו כולו. מלכוסי פורו ונכו וכי היום לפני מוישה ואלו יענו ונאמר כבודו אדוני את יעקב וגורם יעקב ממנו ורחתו אדוני all Yisrael. Yel Shemenu Matzilenu Oto Baruch Adonai Shemer Sama Yisrael Toah Yisgada Yisgada Shemei Adonai Yom Shev Yamlich Malchus Shev Yasna Korn
Amen.
V'chayechon v'yemechon v'chayet Kol Beis Yisrael B'Kol Zman Kol V'yimru Amen.
Amen. Yes,
Yeshadov, 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 Merkurisho, Perichu, Yelo, Mikudakos, Kiroso, Tristofoso, Nakamoso, Tamiram, Biomo, Yimru.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Tariq van Abiyam Bechon Echad Rabbi Yisrael, Ba'atol Zman Kol Kevidim.
Amen. Yes, Amen.
Al Yisrael, Rabban, Al Talmidehom, Yal Kol Talmidehom, Yal Kol Talmidehom, Yivat Valim, Yivat Shabbat, Yehei Lahem, Lachaim, Shalom, Rab, Alfin, Rafish, ובכל המקום נשמע יריבו
Amen. Amen.
אייסה שלום דברי מה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל, ויאמרו.
Man, so tomorrow morning, down at 8:40. Whoever's this is going to be up for bringing, starting now, 9 and 9:15. We're bringing in Hallandale. That's the Lewis for bringing over there. Anybody wants to go for bringing? Good option tonight. I'm going to go for a little bit. Whoever wants to send a pan, whoever wants to send a letter to the AHA tomorrow, I'm really going right after davening tomorrow morning. Give me now, it's for tomorrow morning, and I'll gladly bring it on your behalf. Manuel.